So guys, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we are going to address a very critical question about Mazda diesels. Okay, so and for this one, I'm going to talk about, the CX-5s. When these vehicles arrive into Kenya, especially for the second generation, kuna modifications that have already become standard. So people who are prospecting to buy Mazda CX-5, the 2200cc 2.2 liter engine, the prospects are being told, don't worry, buy a Mazda CX-5. Then when it arrives into Kenya, there are 3 recommendations that are being given. The first one is to change the junction pipe. I don't know what that one is. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not a cars expert. But mechanics are saying that once you receive your Mazda CX-5, spend some money on replacing the plastic junction pipe with the metallic one. The second thing they are saying is that you do what we call a DPF delete. I think diesel particulate matter or something, DPF delete, so that you don't have check engines on your dashboard. So it will show a very clean dashboard, but the engine will not record any signals of something going wrong with regard to what has been deleted. And then the third option that is being given to Mazda people is that they should, have a heavy foot on their accelerator. So unlike the petrol vehicles where we are recommended to accelerate, progressively, smoothly until you hit high speed, for Mazda CX-5 people, diesel, they are being told, have those hard acceleration, speed if the road allows, and hit maximum speed within the shortest time possible, so that it can remove those clogging into the engine or those kind of stuff. Those things seem to work. So far, I know like 3 people who have bought CX-5 diesel cars. Some have done those modifications, others have not done. And I spoke with a guy who really specializes in those modifications for CX-5s and CX-8s. And he told me that, Explode TV, don't worry. Go buy your CX-5 diesel, bring it, it is working. I spoke to people who have deleted it and, changed the plastic to metallic, and they have told me it works. But I want to give you results of my research. And I will, show you more details when my vehicle arrives. I told you I'm importing a vehicle. It is a Mazda. I will show you further details with regard to which model, which fuel, whether it is, diesel or whether it is gasoline, petrol. But I did quite a number of research. And why I opted for the petrol version and not for the diesel version of that model, it is because of the same thing that I am going to discuss with you here. My vehicle is arriving this week on 23rd. It was supposed to arrive on 16th if you have followed my videos, but there were some delays. So I spoke with the company that is bringing that vehicle for me. They told me that arrival date is always estimated. Bahari ni bahari. There are things that are unknown. There could be strong waves, and then the ship slows down for some days. So there was a 1 week delay. I'm expecting the ship to dock at the port of Mombasa on 23rd of October. And then from there, 1 week for clearance. And then I'm hoping by the end of this month, I should have my vehicle with me, and I'll show you more details. So going back to the discussion around the Mazda CX-5s and the research that I did, I agree with the mechanics, the local mechanics, who are giving buyers confidence that they should buy the diesel version. And the feedback is so far positive from people who are buying it. But the only concern I have about these modifications is that it takes quite a long time before you prove a concept to be correct or to be wrong. And when I was doing my research on the manufacturer recalls, I told you when I did, my investigation on how to import a vehicle, I went deeper into purchasing reports about the history of my vehicle, and I wanted to understand what do recalls mean for manufacturers and how long does it take for a company to recall a vehicle so that they can change components, they can change part that they have proven over a long time to be faulty. So the vehicle that I bought had a recall issue, and being a 2018 vehicle, it was recalled in 2022, 4 years later. Okay, it took the company 4 years to determine that there was a faulty fuel pump. If you go into the internet and check which vehicles of 2018 had a faulty fuel pump, you will get an idea of my vehicle. So imagine my vehicle, every vehicle that is recalled by the manufacturer, it does not necessarily mean that that component has failed in every vehicle that it was installed in. But over time, the manufacturer has proven that that vehicle, that component could fail, the fuel pump could fail. So even before it fails, from the reported issues they had for the 4 years, they decided to recall all vehicles and replace all the fuel pumps. So for people who are bringing in the second generation of Mazda CX-5, which started in 2017, in my view, that is a 2017 vehicle, year of manufacture. In Kenya, it's only 2 years old, because right now, we are bringing 2018. So a 2017 year of manufacture vehicle is only 2 years old in Kenya. If you did your modifications 1 year ago, it is still too early to say that that modification works. It is still too early to say that modification will serve you to the full lifespan of that car, because that is what success looks like. It is not that modification working for 1 year or 2 years. So I would tell Mazda people that even if that modification is working for you, if it is working for a person, it is still not yet success until that vehicle reaches what I would call, a significant lifespan. Because if you do those modifications, let's say if you buy your CX-5 today, you want that vehicle to serve you for at least 10 years. That's what I would say. These kind of vehicles easily serve people for 10 years. If you do those modifications, are you sure that it will serve you for 10 years, that you want to stay with your CX-5? That is a critical question that we need to ask ourselves. It might serve you for 3 years, for 4 years. On the 5th year, you might need to replace your engine when all those modifications start to fail again. Okay? And the other critical question we are asking ourselves, does it mean that these manufacturers are not aware of these issues and do a recall? Because out of the recalls I saw on Mazda CX-5, there was no recall related to the issues that Mazda CX-5s are exhibiting in Kenya. Of course, I know our mechanics know quite well, better than I do. Actually, as I told you, I have no idea what DPF is. I have no idea what is a junction pipe. And I have no idea why you should have press on your accelerator when you have a diesel as compared to when you have a petrol. So those are critical questions that you need to ask yourself. And that is why, from my side, I said, I am not ready to bring in my vehicle and again spend 50,000 Kenya shillings doing modifications for something I am not sure it will serve people for how long. And I want to relate this thing of vehicle modification to what is happening with electric vehicles. Right now, there is a wave of, marketing and bringing sensitization on electric vehicles into Kenyan market, be it the 4-wheelers, the 3-wheelers, the tuk-tuks, or the boda-bodas. When you go to the manufacturers of these boda-bodas and the 3-wheelers and the 4-wheeler cars, they will give you a huge promise on the longevity or the lifespan of the battery. Okay? But to be honest, nothing has been proven. You will go to these companies. I cannot mention their names because there are many, but they will tell you that their battery can last for 8 years. Okay? The battery of the motorbike or the tuk-tuk or the vehicle. But we have not experienced 8 years of electric vehicles in Kenya. So if you are buying that vehicle and the product does not have a warranty for 8 years, then you will know that you take all the risk after the warranty expires. Maybe these electric boda guys will give you warranty for 2 years or for 6 months on the battery. But if the battery dies after that, you are alone. Unless you have an insurance for it. I'm not sure whether there is insurance for batteries, and batteries are expensive, very, very expensive. For the cars, the same thing. So what we are saying here is that manufacturers are not necessarily lying, and it will be proven if whatever they are saying is true or not when we have the proof of time. Time will test that concept, and things will show up whether your battery will last you 8 years or not. The other thing that is very important, because I have a background in agriculture and agronomy, when you go to buy certified seeds, if you are a farmer somewhere and you go to buy certified seeds, these agrovets or the manufacturers of these seeds, they will always give you the productivity of each seed, especially if you are buying what we call the hybrid, the first generation seeds that are very, very expensive. For instance, for tomatoes, if you buy a packet, there are packets that have only 50 seeds, okay? And you'll be told that for each seed, that tomato seed, it has the potential of giving you 50 kilograms of tomato fruits over its lifespan. And normally the lifespan of these greenhouse tomatoes, it's like 6 months. You get my point? So if you do your financial projection or income projection from whatever crop you are going to grow based on the productivity of that seed as marketed by the seed company, my friend, you will cry alone, because those are like the hardest targets to achieve. Of course, that seed at a certain extremely good condition, it can produce what they are calling the 50 kilogram per seed. But a common farmer in Kenya will never even hit a quarter of that if you do your farming. Okay? Because that seed, for it to give you 50 kilograms, you have to grow it at a regulated temperatures. It must not go beyond, let's say, 17 degrees Celsius per day. The soil pH must be maintained at a certain level. The soil temperature must be obtained, contained within a certain limit. All those things must be observed to the precision for you to have 50 kilograms per seed of potato, according to those companies. But farmers who have experience will tell you, they will only work with a target of 10 kilograms per seed. If they hit 10 kilograms, they are okay. So they do their math according to that. So back to Mazda CX-5. If your mechanic is telling you that the modification will last you forever, know that CX-5 Diesel have not been in Kenya forever. So there is no proof of concept. Buy it, modify it, knowing that it is a risk that you are taking. All right, guys, I hope that one helps you.